Okay, today's topic is about thinking positively and how that's probably holding you back. So, I know a lot of times when we start on our journeys, it's easy to think that you get in here and you think that a crystal or the moon phases or witchcraft or a god or a particular goddess is going to take away all the pain and all the anxiety and the worry and the suffering that you are experiencing. But that is just not the case. A lot of times what we do when we start reading the books, and rightfully so, we want to shift our thinking from always thinking negative and thinking bad about ourselves and our low self-esteem and yada yada yada. We want to automatically shift that into thinking positive. Well, there's a danger to that. And what happens is when you get into always trying to think positively is it becomes another source of repression. You actually are still, paradoxically, I think, if that's a paradox, still thinking negatively because you're not really dealing with the actual issues. You're not really doing the actual work because you are so focused on, no, I don't want to think about that. No, I don't want to accept this. No, I want to vibe high. Get the negativity away from me. I don't really want to face the darkness. I don't deal with demons or anything like that. We still always trying to repress and not see the full picture, which is one of the biggest, which is really your whole job down here, is to become whole, to realize that you are whole and complete, to turn over every stone so nothing is left hidden. And when we don't get to accepting the demons and the angels for what it is, then you get into repression. And that is not the name of the game here. We are trying to turn darkness into light. So the quote unquote negative or the darkness are the things we don't want to see, which is all those emotions and all those thought forms that we are refusing to face because we face so much pain while down here in the 3D would be counterintuitive to what we are doing down here. And I understand that expecting the worst is unhealthy. We always want to find ourselves in the middle path. We never want to get into the whole right or wrong debacle. You never want to polarize yourself to one side of the path. You never want to be the positive light person all the time and completely negate the quote unquote darkness and the negative. But you also never want to be, I'm such a dark side person and I'm a demon and I'm a Satanist, and forget the other side of that, which is the quote unquote positivity. You never want to keep yourself polarized in either of those directions, because that will get you into religious thinking. That will get you back into the religious mind state that we were all trying to escape from in the first place, which is really just another form of the ego trying to play its tricks on you. The ego is always wrapped up in what's right or what's wrong because it's always trying to protect you. We've all been told that crack is not good for us, but the crackhead thinks it's fucking heaven. His body's probably addicted to it, but the point is that you will tell yourself anything to try to protect yourself from going to the next level. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad about that. That's just the ego's job. And you want to always accept both sides of the coin. Like I said, being polarized to each one of the sides will hold you back severely because you're not getting the whole picture. It's very limited information, and you're not in the state of accepting for what it is. So then that way, what happens is when you keep trying to polarize yourself to, oh, this is right, this is how it's supposed to be done, you're not getting the bigger picture of how it could be better. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich is very simple on its own. It's always going to smack no matter what you do. But what happens if we play around with it and say, well, damn, what happens if I put it on a pan and maybe grill it? Or what happens when I change the peanut butter out and add cinnamon? Like, you could take something so basic into the next level if you're willing to explore and willing to take from different places to enhance or make something better. And a lot of times when we get on this path and we think that it's going to heal everything. If I just think positively, all the bad will go away. What happens is if we come across an obstacle or a road bump, we think that somehow we are not vibing high. Somehow it is low vibrational to think that facing your pain or coming across an everyday obstacle is somehow something that is wrong with you, and you are somehow being punished for your low vibrational thinking. What if shit just happens here? I know it's not the case all the time, and I know we're not allowed to just not believe in coincidences anymore, but sometimes things just have to go away. Sometimes situations, sometimes old parts of ourselves have to be shifted into something else. And I know that the amount of work that we put in trying to elevate our consciousness, and then to have a setback, to have we lose a friend, or whatever may be the case, you lost $100,000, you didn't, whatever may be the case. And it feels kind of like a slight or a punishment, but it's really not. And it's not anything that you've done as a low vibrational being to face your pain. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It means that you're getting a chance to reevaluate, redirect yourself on a different path. You never know that the two left turns you could have taken, or how I said, you never know what could have changed on your path. It could have been something such as tiny as wearing a different pair of glasses that you were supposed to wear one day, because that has a ripple effect on how everything else was supposed to pay out. But now, because you might have chosen a different pair of glasses that was more optimal for a more optimal path, now things have to be fixed, and now things have to be shifted around, or something wonderful happened, and something is no longer needed, time for it to get away, whatever the case may be. Having that flexibility and having that acceptance to say, like, okay, this is just what's happening in my life right now, and I trust that it's going to bring me somewhere different. And that's where linear thinking will hold you back. That's where ego thinking will hold you back. That's where logical thinking will hold you back. Because just because you did the work, and let's say you healed a mother wound, does not guarantee you anything. Nothing is really truly guaranteed, because unfortunately you have to battle up against the ego. You have to battle up against years of trauma, not trauma, but pain, past life pain that you have come to this life to hopefully sort out. There are things that you'll never be able to sort out, and that serves a purpose as well. But all those little all that pain and all those fears and all the illusions that we are under, you have to contend against that. So with that means that nothing is really guaranteed. What do you keep looking for all this good stuff for, this end goal? You need to focus more so on the journey, rather than trying to be like, okay, well, I'm going to get this at the end, I'm going to get this at the end, so this is why I'm doing it. No, let go of your expectations, let go of the agendas, and follow what is on your heart and what your guides have to say first and foremost, even regardless of what do you think you're going to win. Stop thinking that spirituality is some fucking prize to win, that somehow vibing high and reaching all this heaven and we all gonna go back to, or whatever you want for your life, living off the grid and being some hippie will guarantee you this ultimate happiness. It won't. It's not meant for that to be down here. What spirituality is supposed to be is a compass and a guide. It is not a lottery ticket that you start scratching off and endlessly hoping for $10 or $100 or $100,000. It's not. We need to really let that go. That's not meant for here. That is still a poisoned part of your mind that you really need to let go. Because like I said, being an entrepreneur and the things that I do now, I would have never thought that doing this line of work that I do would ever bring me the type of lifestyle I don't want it. And it's so illogical. And the things that I'm doing now is so illogical. I would have never thought that this would be my pathway to my riches or serving a different purpose. I would have never in a million years said that, oh yeah, this is what Ashley's going to be doing. Not in a million years I would have ever thought that I'd be here right now, but I'm living the life that I wanted to live. So can I really argue with that? It's what I wanted. So like I said, how I got here to this point and how I'll get to the next point, you know, it is up to me to consciously choose every day to give the guidance that's given to me and to trust that guidance. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But for me, from my experiences, life has been totally easier just following the guidance given to me. In the movie Tenet, they say something along the lines of lying is standard protocol. And of course, if you come from a religious mindset like we all do in religious programming, lying is one of the worst moralistic on the moral scale. That's the worst thing you could probably do to another person is lie. But in the movie Tenet, they said lying is standard protocol. Well, what does that mean? If spirit channeled to me that like you can't know everything. Things have to be hidden from you so you can't fuck up what's coming to you. And you have to sit with the not knowing. You have to sit with some things are just not going to be shown. And maybe you are lied to, who knows? But you have to trust that, damn, it wasn't meant for me to know that information. Oh man, I'm not supposed to know what's going on right now. You have to trust that that's part of the path too, and just accept that that's okay. I don't need to know. I don't need to know all the information right now. I'm trust where I'm being led. Like going down the riverbed, going with the flow. You know, sometimes you just can't know anything. Lying is standard protocol. Also, a missed opportunity, an obstacle is not punishment. I think I mentioned that before in this video, but it's not a punishment. It doesn't mean somebody's sitting over you, waiting for you to fuck up and punish you the moment that you decide to be human. It's just not what's happening. Remember, right and wrong really don't exist. So it don't make sense to say that, oh my God, they're punishing me or anything like that. Not a fucking punishment. It's just a revelation that you might need to have. A redirection. Something needs to be repurposed. Something maybe needs to be revisited in order for you to move forward. Remember that always. There is no punishment. Your soul is here to guide you home. Time and time again, it has nothing. Its only purpose is to shed the illusion so it can get to its purpose. Leave what it has to be so you can shed the guilt, the fears, whatever emotional attachment or illusion that's keeping you held down here. Your soul's purpose is to guide you home, and it'll do that time and time again, no matter what. That unconditional love that says, hey, this isn't who you are. This is where you are meant to stay. You're meant to come home, and I have found you, and I will bring you home no matter what. It's resilient like that. So you always have that unconditional love, for real unconditional love, not just, oh, I love you when you're doing great, and when you're doing bad, you have to be punished. No. None of that is going on with your guides, your spirit, your heart. None of that is occurring. That is just a religious mindset that they teach you to be afraid. So then that way you think like, that way you can get into the lies of karma, thinking that you owe someone something, thinking that, oh, I have all this karmic debt and I'll never be, I can't ascend to the next level, whatever that means. I have all this karma debt that I have to pay down. I have this karmic with me and I'll never be with my twin flame. Like, let go of all that thinking. It's outdated. It doesn't work anymore. And it's okay to let it go now. But that is all I have to say in this video. Do all of the things that would make me very happy. And I will see you in the next one.